family picture. He and his son, and his son, and I'm looking at this picture, and I'm going, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? Something with this picture, and the picture is of Dwayne Wade, uh, Gabrielle Union, and their baby. Of course, all these women, they had to get their baby in. Gabrielle's a little old, but she got a baby in. And the boy, Dwayne Wade's son, has on acrylic nails. Okay. I think he thinks he's gay or something. He's a homosexual. That's what he thinks. He's a homosexual. I'm gay. Gay is an emotion. Let's remind people, being gay is an emotion. I'm happy. I'm gay. It's the great time of the year. Not homosexuality. That's a word that was co-opted. I refuse to use it in terms of homosexuality. Sorry. Which is something that we like to steer clear of here on the show. We like to steer clear of dealing with those issues because they just don't side with what folks are out there adhering to. Because see, I'm not going to hell for anybody. I don't care what other people want to do, what they think. It's not really important to me. What's important is my relationship with God. Yes, my relationship with God. That's what's important to me. And the fact that I may get to go to heaven if I'm a good boy. If I continue to be a good boy, I should say. You got that, Lord? Okay. So, but Dwayne Wade's son, and there were people who castigated Dwayne Wade, and I'm going to do the same. He's a retired basketball player. For those of you who don't know, he's a retired basketball star. He'll make the Hall of Fame. He's a great basketball player, a great human being. In fact, he got these boys from his wife in a hellacious battle with his wife. His wife was horrible person, horrible. So in this photo that was posted on Instagram, the family stands on a staircase, and Dwayne Wade's 12-year-old son, Zion, is wearing a crop top and acrylic nails. Whoo, baby. A crop top and acrylic nails. I'm with Kevin Hart. Glad it ain't my son. Okay. I mean, what do you do with that? I mean, really? Oh, God. Church. So they posted in this Instagram. They said, happy Thanksgiving, good people, to all friends and family that have my back and all the friends and family I've never met to show love and support when everyone is looking and when no one is looking. All praise, gratitude, and thankfulness. You got 11,705 comments. Whew. Wow, that's a lot of comments. So he went on to say, I've seen some post-Thanksgiving hate on social about my family photo. Wade tweeted, stupidity is a part of the world we live in, so I get it. But here's the thing. I've been chosen to lead my family, not y'all. So we continue to be us and support each other with pride, love, and a smile. Dwayne, got news for you, bro. Oh, let me continue. So he goes on to say, I mean, man, you got to chalk this stuff up. You got to say, wait a minute. So he goes on to say, let's see. As a parent, my only goal is that my kids feel that I see them, love them, and support them. As a parent, my only goal is to see that my kids feel that I see them, love them, and support them. Well, Mayonce, and this is spelled, it's not Beyonce, it's spelled Miyonce. What the hell is this? She says, know how powerful and moving It is that they are embracing their son's individuality. Well, their son is stupid. That's what he is. Damn it, I'm crying. In our community, being given the autonomy over your body, beliefs, image, and statements as a child isn't a thing. That child is free and happy. Well, the child needs guidance. That's what the Bible preaches: guidance, humility, morals, values. That's what the Bible preaches. And not you do your own thing. Whatever you want to do, it's okay. No, that's not what, it's not how society works. But in the black community, we got all this craziness going on, and it's destroying and has destroyed the very fabric of the black family, the very fabric of black culture, black American culture. It doesn't exist anymore. You got these young men running around in pickaninny braids. They don't even know who pickaninny is. They don't even know what a pickaninny is. They're so stupid. That's how dumb they are. They're dumb. So earlier this year, Dwayne Wade spoke about supporting Zion attending Miami Pride. I really don't think much about it because it's Zion's story to tell. My job as a father is to facilitate their lives and support them and be behind them in whatever they want to do. No, that's not your job, Dwayne. Your job is to guide. Your job is to offer your life experiences in doing the right thing. You know, you were running a few basketball players that wasn't all tatted up before you got with that ghetto ass LeBron James with his ghetto ass. Another guy who was raised without a daddy, and it shows. Man, I tell you, these black women have messed this world up, raising these boys without daddies. They need their daddies. I'm sorry. I know one thing. When my mother decided that she didn't need my father and I was going to be the man of the house, I was very clear. I am not the man of the house. I was very clear about that. I'm not the man of the house. I told my mother straight up, I'm not the man. Now, some boys want to reach out and bring, like my brothers, they want to reach out. You're not daddy. You're not the man of the house. How can you be the man of the house when you have a woman telling you that you're not the man of the house? I am. I'm in control of this, and you're only the man of the house when I want you to be the man of the house. I mean, you know, it's these black women and their pathologies, man. You know, black women have been under attack since we've been in this country. They've been raped. They've been humiliated. They haven't been treated like women. So when I see a black woman who claims she's a feminist, I know that that's a messed up individual. You know, feminism wasn't about black women. Suffrage movement wasn't about black women. In suffrage movement, the white woman will never get the right to vote. I didn't say that. Susan B. Anthony said it. Hello. And these black women walking around talking about my girls, the women. They're so stupid. They are so stupid. So Dwayne went on to say, instead of helping them to do it, he said, this is my job as a father. You don't know what a father is, Dwayne. You never had one. And if I were you, I'd go, you know, give Bill Russell a call or give Jim Brown a call or give Stephen Curry's daddy, give him a call. So you understand what a father is supposed to be. Not support children doing whatever the hell they want to do. But, you know, this is interesting. Dwayne Wade's son, homosexual. One of Isaiah Thomas's son, homosexual. Magic Johnson's son, flaming homosexual. And the boy's ugly. If you look him up, he's got... He wears his red rouge on his cheeks and flaming red lipstick. He is totally ugly. God, he's ugly. So ugly. And he's fat. Grandmama fattened him up. I think he's one of those kids that Magic had with some chick. Guess what I think. Anyway. Dwayne goes on to say, that this is my job as a father. I am very uneasy about accolades that come from supporting my kids or the negativity that comes from it. I'm doing what every parent has to do. Once you bring kids into the world, you become unselfish. It's my job to be their role model, to be their voice in my kids' lives, to let them know they can conquer the world. So go and be your amazing self and we're going to sit back and just love you. Wrong, Dwayne. People are not going to accept your son. He may be your son, but he have a lot easier time of it and a lot easier time in life if he adhere to some morals and values. The most discriminated person in our society today is the black homosexual male. It's not me saying that. That's what studies have said. That's what sociologists and psychologists say. Just saying it. Man, oh man, oh man. But Dwayne, the last time I was following this stuff, he had like three boys. I think he had two that were his, and he had adopted his sister's kid because he came out with a book about 3 years ago, and he was doing this book tour, and I met him when he's doing this book tour. He's just a great guy, fantastic man. I really like him, but he's wrong on this. He's really wrong on this, and he needs to be checked, and he needs to be schooled because these kids aren't here to do their own thing. You have to guide them, you have to love them, you have to nurture them, but at the end of the day, they need guidance. I remember that's what I always look for. I always paid attention to what people had to say because it was important to me what people had to say, what they were saying. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can call in my phones because they've been down for a while. 215 top talk TALK. Let's see if that rings through. But I hope you kind of understand where I was coming from because no, it's still out. They're still down. Yep. They're still down. It's still down. So let's see here. Uh, Let's see. So that's down. Let's see if we can call in again. But hey, I'm just saying, you have to nurture, you have to guide your children's lives. They don't know what they want. They're just children. They're looking to you for guidance. They're looking to you. It's like when you ask a 5, 6, 7 year old, well, what do you want? What would you like? Well, they don't know. They're just talking. They haven't reasoned it out. They haven't weighed one thing against another. They don't do that at that age. It's not what they do. And we as parents, as most parents anyway, haven't adapted to the fact that these children are very verbal. Yeah, they're very extremely verbal, but they really don't know what it is they're doing. Hey, but we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the impeachment process and where that is when we're going to play a little Kellyanne Conway, get her assessment. Okay. So let's do that because that's what we need to do. Oh, yeah. New Year's just ain't New Year's. Y'all need to remember that because it's so true. I tell you, I know one thing. I miss the ones that I love. Hey, but look, missing and taking care of one's health is something that we need to focus on. We need to do. Pink Ribbon Cancer Plan, the Pink Ribbon Cancer Plan, giving you hope and joy and soul. Hold on. Here we got to go. We're going to bring this back. Take a little break. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're back. And we're going to talk a little bit about the cancer plan, Blue Ribbon Cancer Plan. It affords you about $250,000 worth of coverage over your lifetime. And those folks who are more prone to cancer, or there'll be over 3.1 million cancer survivors this year. And every 120 seconds, a new case is being diagnosed of breast cancer. So, folks, um, before it happens to you or someone in your family, please call us for a quote at 877 659 6126. That's 877 659 6126 and use the discount code. The Butler did it. Okay. Thank you again. So, Kellyanne Conway is defending the president. She's defending the president very rigorously, and I applaud Kel for what she's doing because no one else is out there doing it quite that way. And then she has to go home and deal with that husband of hers. Ooh, boy, he's a trip. He's calling the president all kind of names, and oh man, it's just horrible, horrible. But oh, and then we have to talk about my good friend Superintendent Johnson, who got fired. Got fired. Wow, got fired. So, um, Kellyanne, of course, is defending the president and defending this witch hunt. She said, "Hey, wait a minute. You know this? They're going after the president. They've been trying to impeach him since day one. So they finally think they have something to impeach him on, and guess what? They don't have anything." I mean, she's just on it. Okay, she's like, "Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If they had something, don't you think that they would bring it up?" Now here's Babette. Hi, Babette. I'm on the air. You want to call in?
Oh God, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, call me at 215 Top Talk and we'll continue our conversation. 215 Top Talk. All right. It's Babette Holder Youngblood. She's a good friend of mine. Good friend of mine. Great Republican. Love her to death. She's a great friend and partner in crime. Babette Holder Youngblood. Yep. So let's see here. So I'm gonna play a little Kellyanne, and hopefully we'll let's see. Ooh, can't do it. Doggone it. Shoot. Let's see here. Come on, come on. Let me do this. Okay, here we go. And here is Kellyanne. So I forgot we can't call in today. Here we go. Hey, Babette. Sorry, my yeah, it is broken. I forgot.
That's okay.
So what's going on?
answer you before because there's hardly no Wi-Fi and cellular in Hayward, in the area I was in. That's
Hayward,
all.
Hayworth, what? California?
No, Hayward, Wisconsin, all the
Oh,
way north.
what were you doing up there?
I went with Tim and his family. It's been 7 years since I went up there with them,
Okay,
and it'll
I
be
gotta.
another 7 years before I
Okay,
go again.
all right. Hey, I'll call you back when I get off the air.
Okay,
All right, bye. So, so Kellyanne is right on it. She's absolutely right. They've been trying to impeach this president since he took office. That fool of a congressman called Al Green, not the singer, but the Texas congressman, has been calling for the impeachment of the president since he was elected. The other idiot, Maxine Waters, she's been calling to impeach the president. It's not going anywhere. They just, they're just stupid. Wow, just stupid. But that's the nature of the game. You know what I'm saying? The nature of the game. So Kellyanne is telling the public and telling everyone, sharing with everyone that the president is not going to participate in the charade. He's not. So that's the name of that, the skinny there. And thank God. That's all I can say. That the president's holding firm and he's on his way over to London, I guess, to meet with the folks and at the NATO summit. So he's told the NATO people, "Hey, pony up, pay your fair share, guys. We're tired of paying. This is quid pro quo. Either you pay your fair share, or we're going to pull out. We're not paying anymore. We're not carrying the load. The American people are not carrying the load for you." Now, it's going to be interesting to see how the president is received at NATO. I think he's going to be received wildly. They tried to make fun of the president the last time he was. He said, "Hey, I'm the greatest president we've had," and blah 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 blah. Right? And they tried to make fun of the president. But at the end of the day, I think he's right. I think if anyone is a contender for the Nobel Peace Prize, it should be President Trump. I mean, they give Barack Obama a peace prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, and he hadn't done anything but get elected president. And he got the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, really? Kind of threw a little water on that baby, didn't it? What did you cause peace in, Mr. Obama? Where did you facilitate peace or negotiate, a peaceful settlement or looking at the world? Oh, you can't tell us right now. You're still working on it. I got it. But that's basically what happened. He was still working on it. It's a work in progress. So, that's where we are. That's what happens. That's what we do, unfortunately. Now, the Trump campaign is banning all the Bloomberg reporters from their events. I love this guy. Trump just banned all the Bloomberg reporters, and we can't get in and report on the press. Well, you're not reporting on the Democrats. You're not. You've already come out and said we're not going to report on Democrats. We're not going to report on Mr. Bloomberg. We're not going to report on any Democrats at all. But we will diligently report on Donald Trump. I'm not making this up, people. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not making it up. So what does Trump do? He banned all the Bloomberg reporters. He banned Bloomberg News. Thank God somebody stands up to these people and not let them get away with bloody murder. Oh, we're just not going to look at any Democrats. We're just looking at Donald Trump. We have to get Donald Trump. You're not going to get him this time. He'll be president for another 4 years. Thank God. My good buddy, boy, I tell you, this really ticks me off. Uh, mm, let's see here. Uh, Chicago police Chicago police superintendent Eddie Johnson was fired this morning, a few weeks before he planned to retire. Now, why Mayor Lori Lightfoot decided to do this is beyond it's beyond most of us. She said that he had ethical lapses and he was intentionally dishonest. Boy, 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 boy. And I guess it all stems around that he was found asleep in his car at a stop sign. And Lightfoot later said that Johnson confessed that to her that he'd had a couple of drinks with dinner before getting behind the wheel that night. And the incident was still being investigated as of Monday, today, when he got fired. They said upon further review of the materials of the Inspector General's ongoing investigation, um, it's become clear that Mr. Johnson engaged in a series of ethical lapses that are intolerable, said Lightfoot, Mayor Lightfoot. Mr. Johnson was intentionally dishonest with me and communicated a narrative replete with false statements regarding material aspects of the incident that happened in the early morning hours of October 17th. She also added, had I known all the facts at that time, I would have relieved him of his duties as superintendent then and there. Lightfoot went on to say that Johnson misled the people of Chicago. The 13,400 sworn and civilian members of the Chicago Police Department who work hard every day deserve a leader they can believe in. Well, they certainly believed in Eddie Johnson. There's no question about that. At a hastily called news conference earlier today, Lightfoot declined to offer any details out of deference to Johnson's wife, children, and the ongoing investigation. The report has may become public sometime in the future, but right now it's not. Charlie Beck, who'd already been named the interim superintendent, will take over immediately. And in November or October, last October, Johnson called the department's internal affairs division to investigate the incident. He said he felt lightheaded while driving home, pulled over, and fell asleep. Said he wanted the public to be confident that both he and his officers had acted properly. Johnson grew up here in Chicago, and he's held just about every rank. And it's more than 3 decades on the force. He was named superintendent 2016 by Rahm Emanuel as he fired Gary McCarthy after a video surfaced showing Officer Jason Van Dyke shooting a 17-year-old young man named Laquan McDonald 16 times. That's what 16 is about, 16 bullets. It's horrible thinking about those things, but anyway, that's what we do. So Johnson announced his retirement. Lightfoot said he'd agreed to serve through the end of the year. These stars can sometimes feel like you're carrying the weight of the world, said Johnson, whose uniform includes 4 stars on each shoulder. His job has taken its toll on my health, my family, and my friends. Yeah, that's what leadership does in a lot of cases. And Johnson, I don't know what he did or what he did not do, but it is going to be interesting to see what the fallout is. You know, what really happened to Eddie Johnson, because I've always thought he was an admirable guy. In fact, I'm going to be making some calls as soon as I get off the air to try to figure out what happened to Eddie Johnson. Wow. But that's all. You know, I've searched both papers. I've searched several papers. Sun Times, the Trib on site, and the Sun Times on site. Fox is carrying it. It's news. It's now. One of the things that I noticed that's going on here in Chicago is that um, Resource officers shot an armed student who wouldn't drop his gun. How dumb was that? The kid wouldn't drop his gun. Boom, boom. Wow. So, I mean, are these folks crazy? I mean, with all we have going on, with all that happened this week, and I know that we're not really covering what happened in London, but that was something. 14-year-old teenager was shot in the chest Friday, and it's not whoa, and is now facing an attempted robbery charge after officials said she tried to rob a woman she was meeting for a sale. So I guess the 14-year-old was trying to buy a dog from this woman who was 21. They say when the 14-year-old met up with the 21-year-old, her name is Diaz, the teen pulled out a pellet gun and struck the 21-year-old in the head with it and tried to take the dog without paying. Well, we're not sure where they met initially or how they communicated, but all we know is the 14-year-old did show up with other intentions. She pulled out a BB gun. Well, she pulled out a BB gun, but the 21-year-old then allegedly pulled out a handgun and shot the girl in the chest. Now, Miss Diaz, the 21-year-old, Miss Diaz, was found to have a valid void card, Illinois fire owner's ID card, to possess a weapon, but no concealed carry license. Okay, no concealed carry license. She messed up. Should have got concealed carry. Diaz was subsequently arrested in Cicero about an hour after the shooting and charged with unlawful use of a weapon. The 14-year-old was transferred to an area hospital where she's in critical condition and treated for a gunshot wound before she was arrested Saturday morning and charged with attempted armed robbery. And she's scheduled to appear in juvenile court on the 9th of this month. Chicago police said that Diaz is scheduled to be in court on Sunday. I guess that was yesterday. A BB gun can appear to be a real gun, and anyone out there is going to appear like a real gun to the police. Let me read this again. This is a statement from the Chicago police. It says a BB gun can appear like a real gun, and to anyone out there, it's going to appear like a real gun to the police and any individual. And if someone's carrying and not have their concealed carry license, they may use their own gun to defend themselves. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, wow. She's lucky she wasn't killed, as some of the comments. Little Vidya Smiley, if you can't afford the trip to Juarez. Whoa. Chief Johnson is not the problem in Chicago. They're going to be bad cops on the force, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, all I can say is she picked on the wrong person. Wrong person. Unfortunately, here in Chicago, this is a big city. Chicago's a big city. We have a lot of crime going. It's like New York. It's like L.A. We have a lot of crime going. It's a big city. A lot of criminal element here. And this young woman was found strangled in her car. And she was murdered because she ignored the killer's advances. Her name is Ruth George. She's 19. She's found unresponsive in a car. Gorgeous little girl. I mean, absolutely just stunningly beautiful. And this person who had been let out of jail, who was on parole, killed her. See, this is the politicians again. They put these criminals back in our neighborhoods to prey on us. That's why you need to have a concealed carry license. So you can what? Shoot them. The reason why Miss Diaz was arrested for shooting the young juvenile in the chest who tried to rob her with a gun is because she didn't have a CCL. If she had CCL, she could have said, "Hey, I intend to work with you, cooperate with you fully. I'm just waiting for my attorney to get here." So Ruth George, who was 19, she was found unresponsive in her family's parked car inside a parking structure on Halstead, and the autopsy determined that she died of strangulation. 26-year-old strangled her, strangled her, criminal sexual assault. Not only did he rape her, but he strangled her. He said he admitted that he uh, was angry that George ignored his cat calls. Whew, boy. The defendant was angry that he was being ignored. The defendant came up from behind the victim, grabbed her around the neck from behind, put her in a chokehold. With his arm still wrapped around the victim's neck, he dragged her uh, from the ground and opened her backseat door and raped her before killing her. Mm, 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 mm. It's really shocking. Man, I mean, just to think that this could happen. I mean, this is what people were talking about last Thursday and Friday, because I think it happened Thursday. I guess it happened Friday because they found her body Saturday morning, but we'd been talking about it all day on Friday. It's horrible, horrible. This young woman was killed because she ignored this moron. And if you see this boy, he has these dreads in his hair. He looks unkept, uncouth. He's unshaven. You know what I see? I see a bullet hole right in his forehead. That's what I see. I wish that this young lady had had her concealed carry permit and she could have turned around and capped him. That's what needs to happen to these people. But I have people all the time. Well, what about their life? How they grew up? Don't make your problems my problems, dude. That's what I have to say. Don't make your problems my problems. This young woman is dead because they let this man out who should have been in jail, but they let him out on parole because they're doing this thing called, what is it? Criminal justice reform. No, criminals are criminals and they need to be locked up. Period. And they don't need the right to vote either. Damn it. Wow. So hopefully they'll beef up the campus security, and we won't have another young woman or guy shot or raped or beaten over by the University of Illinois at Chicago. Wow. So those are some of the things that are going on, people. I mean, it's a dangerous world out here, but let's see if we can come up with something that's a good story. That's a good story. I mean, I've been looking for a couple, but I think Sunny Days for Sesame Street, the first TV show to receive the Kennedy Center honors. Good. We'll bring those back. Bring back Sesame Street. Da, 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 da. I love Sesame Street. I really didn't watch Mr. Rogers much. He kind of creeped me out. I was a little too old for Mr. Rogers. But there's a lot going on. The gun debate. I've always been big in the gun fight and the resistance to people taking away our guns. But it's really interesting in that the Second Amendment has its ties to slavery, and the wording and the verbiage is so that the the federal government, could not take away the southern states' ability to organize a militia to protect the people from a slave revolt. That's what the verbiage in the Second Amendment's all about, and it's very clear. And as we know, several of the major framers of the Constitution were plantation owners, slave owners, and they wanted this right to be able to assemble a armed militia to put down slave revolts. It's really interesting. I mean, how everything comes back to race in America, and it comes back to black people, not people of color. We always try to change history and dilute the black white connection, but I don't, because I believe in the black white connection going strong in the right direction. but, but the Supreme Court is going to hear a case that they hadn't tackled in about 10 years since we fought the battle for concealed carry here in Chicago and won. That was the McDonald versus City of Chicago case. Um, and I think that was about 2010, 2011. Then you had Heller, who came along in 2010. That was the DC case. But it's really interesting. In New York, they had a law. They had a law. And they had a law until they were sued, and they knew that this was going to the Supreme Court, so they tried to preclude it because they knew that it was going to not only be overruled, these New Yorkers and their, well, we'll just pander to the criminals. They had a hard life. I hate New Yorkers who think like that. But anyway, the the law had said if you legally own a gun in your own home, you cannot transport that gun assembled, unassembled, loaded, unloaded, in a lockbox. You cannot take that gun out of your home and go to a gun range. So the people sued them, the group sued them, and the so the city changed the law. The city changed the law. So the controversy, you have to understand, revolves around. It revolved around initially. These restrictions only apply to New York City residents, and it said that citizens who have a license to keep a gun in their homes may transport them to a firing range outside of the city or to a second home in the state. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So after the Supreme Court took the case, New York City says, "Oh, well, they're not only going to overturn this law where we're controlling the movement of these guns. They're going to outlaw all of our gun restrictions. Period." They try to be smart, right? In New York, it's a pretty smart guys. Well, guess what? The Supreme Court took the case to decide whether those restrictions that the city of New York had placed on its licensed gun holders violated their constitutional rights to keep and bear arms. And so the city got rid of the restrictions, and the state of New York passed a law that would keep them from being reenacted. Okay. So the unstated purpose of both the city and the state actions might have been to make the case moot and deny conservatives on the court to expand the right to carry a gun outside the home. Well, that's going to happen, dudes. New York State is going to get concealed carry, and it will be shall instead of at the discretion of some bureaucrat. So the liberal judges said Monday that the court no longer had a live controversy before it, a requirement in making a decision. What's left of the case, said Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she asked a Washington lawyer representing the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, which brought the lawsuit. She said Justice Sotomayor said that New York has thrown in the towel, and you're asking us to opine on a law that's not on the books anymore. The court denied New York's earlier plea to dismiss the case as moot and said it would consider the question after argument. So Clement said the case was still alive. This is the representative from the New York Pistol and Rifle Association. And the new restrictions did not make clear whether the clients could be harmed from making a stop for coffee or use the restroom while transporting their unloaded weapons to a shooting range, for instance. He said they might be hurt in applying for licenses because of past violations of the old law. Justice Roberts, the most closely watched conservative. I don't know if you consider him conservative. I consider him a turncoat. Asked the questions only to New York's lawyer, Richard Deering. Would the plaintiffs be disadvantaged in any way if the case was not declared moot? And Roberts asked, such as seeking damages for having their rights harmed or being prosecuted for past infractions. And Deering said that would not happen. Sure, tell us anything. But other conservatives on the court did not seem so satisfied. Justice Samuel Alito, who wrote the opinion in the majority opinion in the McDonald case, where he cited something that I had been saying for a very long time, that the mayor of Chicago refused to protect Black and brown citizens in high crime areas. Neil Gorsuch looked for ways the case might still be worthy of a decision on its merits and seemed clear they would find the old restrictions unconstitutional. Justice Brett Kavanaugh did not ask a question. Dun, 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 dun. Poor Brett. Oh, Brett, don't let him whip you out, Brett. He did not ask a question, nor did Justice Clarence Thomas, as is his custom. In the past, Thomas joined Gorsuch and has criticized the court for not taking more cases to build out the right to individual gun ownership. The Supreme Court recognized in the District of Columbia versus Heller, called the Heller case. And lower courts have mostly said the decision allows state and local gun control measures if they can be defended as protecting the public safety. There is never any gun law that prevents or that defends an individual's safety. Never. Why? Because we have enough laws on the books. You have to be, the criminals are going to have guns. First of all, criminals are going to get guns. That's what they do. So when you make a law, all you do is stop a law-abiding citizen from going out, getting a gun and possessing a gun and owning a gun and protecting him or herself and their families. That's all that happens. But these people who we want to, what do they say? We want to limit the capacity in magazines. Okay, so you limit it to 5. So what I do is I drop the clip out, put a new clip in, ratchet one in the chamber, and I'm ready to go. What does that take? 2 seconds, 3 seconds? That's it. But, that's the nonsense behind people who've never shot guns, don't know anything about guns. And they try to restrict us from using guns and protecting ourselves because they're cowards. Yes, I called you cowards. All of you all who don't support concealed carry. You're nothing but cowards. And you wait on the police to protect you and your family. But I can tell you, I'm not waiting on the police to protect me and my family, because I've been there, done that before. And I can tell you that the police have no constitutional responsibility to protect you. And when I say that, people go, oh my God, that's not true, Charles. Oh, look it up. Supreme Court case, 2006, I think. The court ruled that the police don't have a constitutional responsibility to protect you or me. What does that mean? I don't know. But I can tell you, I'm not waiting around to find out. I'd rather be carried by 6. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. That's the line we used to use before we got concealed carry. So anyway, the Supreme Court is considering the case. We'll know more about it here shortly. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. They're not going to be bamboozled by New York saying, well, we just changed the law. The law no longer exists, so we don't need a ruling on it, because guess what? They're going to rule that all of these restrictive laws in New York are just that, restrictive and unconstitutional. So these people are not allowed to protect themselves or use their Second Amendment rights because of their zip code. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not right. So, there's a lot going on here in Chicago, man. I'm looking at a Washington paper, and they're talking about the Chicago cop that that the body slammed the man and the video went viral. So they charged the cop with a felony. Ooh, man, I tell you, these cameras are really putting cops on the defensive because their actions are being monitored now. It's not my word against his; it's on video. Hey, as the cops were told, as the jurors were told in the Rodney King case, the people who beat Rodney King, the lawyers' closing arguments for the defendants was, "Don't believe your lying eyes." So don't believe the video. What you saw in the video, it really didn't happen. Don't believe your lying eyes. I'm serious. That's what the guy said. His closing argument. And the people in Simi Valley ruled that the cops were innocent. Man, that's how we got the LA riots of 19, what was it, 94? Can't remember. But I do remember Bill Clinton came to LA. It's when he met Ron Burkle, his buddy in crime. Now, Ron is very slick. He's very quiet. Not like some of the other people that Bill Clinton hangs around with. Hey, but look, we're almost at the end of the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close out, and we'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, and hopefully we'll spend a little time together, a little bit more time together.